There we go. And once again, welcome everybody for coming. This is the last busy webinar for 2025, where we're going to be talking about what we are seeing at BizzyWeb as the latest and greatest and the most important things to be focused on in order to get really good in 2026. So if you go, I am monitoring the chat, and then I've also got the Q&A up and available. So if you have questions, please feel free and add them to the Q&A, and I will do my best, very best, level best to answer them as we get started. So let's go ahead and get started. If you're not familiar with us, we are a growth marketing agency that's based in the Twin Cities in Minneapolis and St. Paul. We're primarily focused on B2B service and manufacturing companies, but we are very much deep in the HubSpot community, and we also work in CRM development, sales enablement, and general growth marketing to help grow businesses. So if you're interested, you can find us on LinkedIn. You can call us at the number that is there. And then in addition to that, you can find us online at BizzyWeb.com. Now, the interesting thing is I am here by my lonesome today, and there's another guy whose picture is there. I purposefully left that here. So Dave is the owner, founder, and president of BizzyWeb, and one of his year highlights is doing this webinar. And so he unfortunately had to be traveling today. So I'm doing this in honor of him and in honor of in honor of Dave's. So this is a Dave. It's not a Dave memorial because he's still here. He's just not in town today and available to do this. But this is Dave's hottest trends for 2026 moving forward. So thank you for Dave for allowing me to do this, and he'll be back. He'll be back soon for the regularly scheduled, but I'm honored to fill in for him at least temporarily. So on the whole, here's what I think is going to happen in 2026. Marketing will be smarter than ever, while also simultaneously being louder than ever because of all these new tools that we're going to get into and all these new things. It's the opportunity to be loud is almost immediate, but then what we're going to work on today is how are we going to get smarter and how can we get faster as we do this. So the reason for this is because in the last 12 to 18 months, obviously the marketing landscape has undergone just really unprecedented change that we've never really seen. So capabilities in AI have really revolutionized how we all engage with not only each other, but also customers, which done right enables deeper personalization, deeper automation. Problem with that is not everybody does it well and does it right. So we'll get into that. But secondly, new privacy regulations and the depreciation of third-party cookies with the rise of AI browsers are forcing a shift towards what we're going to talk about is called first-party data strategies. So all that being said, customers continue to try and expect seamless, consistent experiences across all channels, from social media to personal interactions. So this is not without costs. Customer acquisitions have surged recently. So making efficient and strategic marketing is really just more crucial than ever. So understanding and embracing these shifts obviously is what we're here today to talk about. It's not just about staying competitive, but really is doing well and doing right means we can unlock significant revenue growth because we're managing our acquisition costs and then we're building equity in our brand throughout 2026. So each of the trends that I'm going to talk today connects directly to areas where strategic implementation is going to drive really good results, not only in marketing, but in CRM automation and web design, and then your overall digital strategy. So my hope as you leave me today, you're going to have some practical frameworks that are going to be implemented for immediate impact. So here's everything that I'm going to be talking about today. As I said, these are not just theoretical concepts. These are the practical frameworks that are going to be able to be implemented to really move forward and create some immediate impact for you. So to start with, let's talk about the first thing that we've all seen recently, which is AEO, which is sort of an umbrella term that really means um, how people are now searching using AI tools, be it be it ChatGPT, be it Claude. There's all sorts of them out there. So traditionally, I wanted to start with it traditionally because that's important because for a long time, really for about the last 15 years, we've heard that SEO is really important. SEO is really important. That kind of started that what I'm like to calling the keyword era, excuse me. So that's when traditional SEO is focused on rankings for specific keywords through tactics like backlinks, things like on-page optimization. And then that sort of evolved into sort of what I'm calling the featured snippet phases. So that's really means context. So as engines are reading your site, they're looking to highlight direct answers at the top of the results page, and you really saw this about the last 3 years. It's just to provide immediate information. So now what we have is the AI answer area, where AI platforms are reading everything and then synthesizing information from all these different sources directly and then delivering the answer that somebody's looking for without users needing to click through to an internal website. So the data on this is really crazy. As of about 6 weeks ago, approximately 20% of all Americans are already using AI platforms to search for products while shopping. And I'm no doubt different from that. I bought a car this summer in large part due to my AI research that I did. So uh, the surge in things like answer engine optimizations has also spiked since early 2024. What this means is getting ranked number one from Google is not the only goal anymore. So now the new imperative for your content, both on your website, the content that you push out, is to be an answer for the question when somebody's looking for you, and how AI can provide that to user queries. So again, what I have on screen there, the goal is not just ranking number one in Google. That's obviously a positive, but you also want to now become the answer that an AI robot is going to provide. So traditional SEO, I think that's something that everybody has a basic understanding of. That's focusing on keyword and backlinks for ranking. So how many people say you're trustworthy? How many keywords are relevant to the question? Therefore you search rank. So what AEO does is it shifts this to making your content directly citable by AI, and that basically ensures that when somebody's looking for one specific thing, if they find you through AI, then AI is going to quote you. So how do we make this happen? How do we do this? Part of this is making sure that your website is set up correctly and available for AI to be reading it as positive as they can. So, um, with proper schema, generally speaking, studies are showing that you get about a 35% higher chance of being referenced not only in Google's generative AI answers, but also in other answers as well. So the key thing that I want you to keep in mind here, though, before we move on to the next steps, are AEO is critical for new search behaviors. However, it doesn't replace traditional SEO. So good keywords, technical optimization, backlinks are still foundational. Now there's an extra layer of cream cheese frosting here to reach users through AI platforms. So don't stop doing SEO. You need to work the two of those things together. So how do you really do that? And how do you actually, going forward into 2026, what are the things that you really need to do? Well, first of all, is looking and examining your content and structuring it the best way you can for AI. So that's things like answering questions directly, using Q&A formats, providing concise answers, factual answers. So like for instance, a question might be, how do I choose the right CRM? Well, in order to answer that, I might say, okay, here are the three factors in which to do that. And then second, it's a SEO concept that we talk about all the time here. One is demonstrate the eat. They didn't tell me if that was the way to pronounce it, but that's what it is. It's you want to emphasize, and what you're really going for is continuing to emphasize a high level of experience, expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. So that's what the EAT stands for. So you want to keep your content as current as possible. If you haven't gone back and done a content audit, I'd encourage you to do so, because the reliability and the trustworthiness of your content is, as always, the most important thing. So next, actively track. If you're doing any of these things where digital is important to you and digital is part of your overall job responsibilities or things you're looking at, you now want to start tracking whether AI platforms such like ChatGPT or Google cite your content. And so you can even test by asking questions relevant to your industry and then figure out which sources are being quoted. So this is a new metric, something new that you should be working on in 2026, AI visibility. And the way you get there is by continually, ongoingly monitoring and refining your content strategy and getting better and better. So that leads us to our second trend, which is something that HubSpot put out in September of last year. So this is kind of the new stage of what content marketing really looks like. So traditional funnels, marketing funnels, I think everybody has a good understanding of what that looks like. It's kind of linear. You attract leads, you convert them to customers, and then the process kind of ended, or it was a handoff to sales. So what loop marketing does is kind of turns that in and around on itself, and it's a fundamental shift away from that linear model. So I've got the loop on screen here, and let me break this down for you. Stage one is that express stage up in the upper left-hand corner. And that's where we're going to start on the racetrack. This is where you're putting your message out into the world clearly, confidently. You're not trying to use a lot of funky language. It's your positioning, it's your point of view, it's the core content, it's what you do and who you are. So you're basically saying, here's who we are, here's what we believe, here's the problem we're solving. You're giving people something real to latch onto. So stage two, that's the tailor stage. So now that you've expressed your message broadly, now you want to start shaping it for your specific audiences and the specific audiences that you really want to target. And we refer to this as your ideal customer profile. So within that, you're going to have different personas. You might have different industries. You might have a stage of readiness, depending on any sort of different angles. So tailoring is where your content, offers, and message become relevant and specific for your specific audience. It's how you go from this is interesting to this is specific for me. So I'll give you an example. There's somebody on the live session here who works for a law firm. So law firms are one thing, but their specific measure of what they do is very specific, and when people are looking for them, they're a really great fit. So stage three in here is amplify. So the message fits the audience is really what we're looking for. So we want that message to hit at the right time. We want that message to really be useful and have it really resonate and really ask them to do something. So it's a lot in a little bit of thing. So what you're going to do is take what's working and through reach and repetition and get it in front of more of those right people. So that could be distribution channels, partnerships, paid media, organic media, whatever makes sense and whatever's working. So amplification isn't necessarily shouting, it's continually strategically placing your best stuff where your audience is already. Then the last stage is evolve. So this is what the feedback look. So you're looking at what's working, what people respond to, where they fall off, what questions keep coming up that they're not getting answered. And then you can refine your messaging, the targeting, the distribution, the whole thing. So that's really what's going to keep the loop alive and moving. And then your marketing is going to continue to improve instead of just going stale. So the reason it's a loop is because evolve feeds right back into the express phase, where you take everything you learned and you start the cycle again with a sharper and a stronger and more resonant message. So what's really amazing about loop marketing on the whole is the strength of this lies in its ability to take data beyond just marketing campaigns. So it's taking insights from sales conversations, like common questions, leads asked, why deals fall through, things like that. And all of this rich intelligence is then fed back into the marketing strategy, which then creates a really great and really amazing continually improving system. So the proof is in the pudding. Obviously, this is a new concept, but what we're seeing right now and what studies are seeing is that the more alignment that you have and more closed loop systems like this is going to give you a better revenue growth, better customer retention, and really just a better ROI on the whole. It's more for sure, but the goal here is, again, as we talked about in the beginning, is we're wanting to be as strategic as possible. So implementing a loop marketing concept really is going to help you eliminate guesswork because you're going to be plotting out your entire customer journey and then attribute what worked, what didn't, double down on things that are driving revenue, cutting underperformers, and then that's where you're going to see the loop really spin. So the neat thing about this is you can receive real-time feedback and you can adjust campaigns immediately rather than waiting for quarterly reviews or every 6 months. So this is a rapid test, learn, fix approach, and it's really going to give you a competitive advantage. And I'm going to have a little bit more information for you at the end here. So that's our second trend that we've seen so far. Let's go to our third. So, and this is where a lot of people fall down. I think everybody gets that same email all the time saying, "Hey, quick question, first name. Can I tell you about what I do? And then can I demand your time?" The answer is no, absolutely not. So, how do we do this better? How can we take advantage of AI and really provide a better customer experience? So, what we're going to talk about a little is the idea of hyper personalization. So, uh, in a global survey that I found, almost 60% of all marketers are identified AI for personalization as and optimization as one of the most impactful trends in 2025. And I think that's certainly true. So, as we get deeper into 2026, that's going to grow substantially because organizations continually recognize the power to transform customer connections, analyzing data, adjusting campaigns really, really fast. So, what do I mean by hyper personalization? It's what I want to do is talk to you as just you, who you are, what you are, making sure that I tailor email content, even the website experience explicitly and specifically for you. Even you can even have technology now where dynamic ads automatically adjust images and text. It's pretty amazing stuff. Then chatbots and agents, of which we're going to have another great seminar on in about a week, are going to handle routine inquiries all the time. Hey, when are you open? What are your hours? How can I find you? And they're going to be handling all that little stuff, which then is going to mean that your teams are going to be able to move faster with the same resources. And ultimately, what that rolls down to is you're going to be able to get smarter, faster about who's talking to you, who's not talking to you, and are they really a good fit? And are they meeting where you want to get? So, how do businesses deploy AI today? Well, the first one is content creation, and I think everybody's seen bad versions of this. You can do it quickly, but that doesn't mean that it's good, and it doesn't mean that it's right. So we 100% always recommend having a human element in any of your content creation. Segmentation is great, so you can put people into buckets to figure out customer patterns. So things like power users, people who are at risk of churning, things like that. You can use AI to help you with that. But then again, that personalization that I talked to, deploying to customize email content, customize your website experience, all of that technology is available now. And the last is the predictive analytics. 46% are looking at are leveraging AI for helping forecasting their lead conversion and whether or not somebody is at risk. So the key here is it's a lot, and I get it, and I understand, and I agree. However, the key is just starting small. So start like trying to automate one email sequence, adding a workflow, implementing a chat bot for people who are looking for you after hours. Measure that impact and then scale on to something else and to something next. So, but again, I can't stress this enough. Make sure that you're maintaining your human oversight to make sure that it's right. The brand voice and is consistent. It continues to be kind. Make sure that it's not going off the rails. So this is where it gets kind of nerdy, which is the trend number 4, first party data strategies in a post-cookie world. So what do I mean by this? Because like I said, this is kind of deep end of the pool stuff. So in the beginning of the cookie era, the cookies were the little piece of software that got dropped on you so that when you came back to a website, it came back to that same page that you were on. And so the cool thing about that is enabled broad ad targeting and personalization across the web. So if you've ever had one of those ads follow you, if you looked at a shirt and then it followed you for a couple of websites, that's from cookie tracking. So the what changed global regulations like GDPR and the CCPA from California really began to restrict extensive data harvesting and data collection. So it required a clear consent and data protection. And browsers have changed substantively. For most marketers right now, everybody really likes to use Chrome, but AI browsers have come out in the last 6 weeks. I know Atlas is a big one that ChatGPT has. That's great. So as a result of that, allowing and getting data collection from your customers is really going to become critical for effective marketing. So major browsers are by and large eliminating cookie tracking. So that's going to be a really challenging to automate. So what we want to do again is getting that information that you can collect directly from your audience. Those are going to be the new gold standard. So the data reality right now is most marketers use first-party intent data to prioritize accounts and personalized data. That means the data that somebody's freely given to you. So instead of renting audience data or buying a list or something like that, companies are building really good databases through things like your email subscribers, visiting the websites, purchase histories, direct interactions, things like that. The end of the day, we are in a period of, I think, universal distrust, but especially when it comes online, 76% of people statistically are not going to buy or share their information with companies that they don't trust. I'll give you a great example. I tried to sign up to go to God, what's it called? To play with puppies. And the organization that asked me to do that asked me for an extensive list of things to make sure that I am who I say it was. And it got to the point where I was like, geez, maybe I really don't want to do that. You don't want to have your customers have that experience. So, leading with transparent opt-in processes, clear privacy policies, making sure that your website is safe and secure, making sure that things are always building that trust is going to give people the opportunity to give your information and earn the trust. So how do you build a data strategy? The first is by creating a value exchange. And this is that's a fancy way of saying a give get kind of thing. So when you're offering high value content, tools or things like on your website in exchange for some contact information, you want to, the traditional concept of this is called gating. So premium resources, those are things that you put sort of behind a sign up form, a compelling newsletter, a webinar like this, providing loyalty rewards potentially. Again, the key is to provide clear and desirable benefit for sharing the data. So then if you do this well, you can do a progressive profiling of getting more information. So instead of asking for everything up front, you want to ask for information gradually over time. So that first interaction might only say, hey, can I have your name and email? The next could be, hey, can you tell me more about your company, specific challenges or preferences? So at the end of the day, really what you want to have is all of this has to be crucially funneled into a CRM system. And if you do it well, you can connect all of the dots. So things like connecting your website forms, your email, advertising systems, so everything's flowing into that one spot, I think is really crucial to really make this work. So what it gives you is it gives you a single customer view. So everything that's happening with the sales team, everything that's happening with the marketing team, everything that's happening with the support team. So the most important thing, again, with compliance, obviously, because it's also legally requiring to do this, when your customers trust you with their data, then they're going to be more likely to share information, which is going to fuel more effective, more personalized marketing in a really nice virtuous cycle. So trend number 5, I'm halfway through. Hopefully everybody's still with me. I appreciate you sticking with me so far. So trend 5 is content strategies for omni-channel marketing. What I mean by omni-channel, I'm going to get into that in just a second by talking about lots of channels. So today's buyers are looking at everything on multiple channels. So they're discovering people on LinkedIn, they're looking at websites, they're seeing Instagram ads, getting email follow-ups, and what they really would like is to feel like it's one coherent journey. So I have some really, what I thought was important statistics here. Customer retention strategies, business with really robust omni-channel strategies really retain customers at nearly triple the rate of people who don't. They also get more spending because they're seen more often. And when you're trying to pull that critical Gen Z search behavior, statistically right now, 41% of Gen Z buyers are searching really only on TikTok or Instagram as opposed to a traditional search engine. So omni-channel really requires consistency. It requires planning ahead. So the thing that your blog posts and how it's presented on LinkedIn and your sales conversation should really speak with one unified voice. If there's a disconnect, it gets weird. So how do we do that, and how do we get into how do we get into that? There's five parts that I really wanted to highlight here. So number 1 is really understanding your customer journey. Where are you touching people? At what stage? How effective is it? Things like, your early stage might include like a blog post or social content, where a later stage might include a sales conversation or a webinar or something like that. So once you do that, you really want to adapt based on what the person you're talking to and how you're talking to them. You don't talk to everybody the exact same way. And then you want to repurpose it strategically. So if you can, like with a blog post, if you can turn it into an infographic or an email series or use it in many, many different ways, then it's going to be that same voice that's going to be visible across multiple channels. Next, you want to make sure that you have a unified customer view, meaning that anything that is a customer-facing channel is giving you some data. So when your teams overall know, for instance, what email a customer has received and what they open and what they look at, then coordination throughout the journey improves really dramatically. And then lastly, I think this is pretty self-explanatory, but maintaining brand consistency, I think, is really important. So making sure that your brand stays the same and you're providing that same feeling that you want across all the channels is absolutely critical. The way you do that, I think, is through human interaction, making sure that somebody's monitoring and keeping watch and making sure that it's consistent across everything. So omni-channel doesn't mean being everywhere all the time. It means being where those ideal customers you want are there. So evaluating new channels are always really good, but that doesn't mean that you have to be there on every single time. So trend number 6, sales and marketing alignment, or what we like to traditionally call schmarketing. So marketing and sales lines are kind of blurring, and that's really beneficial. So marketing's role can stop at the water's edge, but it doesn't necessarily, because it's going into things like customer retention and customer success. So statistically, really highly aligned organizations get a higher revenue growth on average, and they're seeing higher profitability and higher closing rates if possible. So that alignment between those two things really ensures that customer experience is seamless from point A to point Z all the way through. So marketing is asking them, hey, if they want something, sales is going to continue that narrative, and then your success teams are going to be the ones who are delivering them. So if there's friction along those lines, you're really not going to, it's going to damage credibility. So being aligned is absolutely critical in this day and age. So how do we do that? Number 1 is establishing specific service level agreements. So marketing is going to do X, sales is going to do Y, and continually talk about it. And so everybody's understanding what everybody else is doing. Talk about what's happening on a regular basis. So regular communication, making sure that that the sales team knows, hey, here's what's coming up in the next quarter, and then sales is sharing the field insights, what they're seeing. I will say, as a sales guy here at BizzyWeb, I'm very blessed in that we have these conversations on a regular basis. So the kind of things you want to talk about are what leads converted, where did they come from, were they a marketing lead, and where did they come in from, and then where's potential places of disconnect. That being said, again, I want to underline this, a unified CRM platform that everybody's working from is really critical in order to do that. And then keeping in mind that winning is an organizational tool. So the shared metrics and goals, everybody's working together. So making sure that what you're getting from marketing is turning into sales results, and that salespeople are actually giving good feedback to marketing and not just saying, hey, I need more leads, I need better leads, I need really good things, and here's what I need, and here's how it's working. Sales metrics should ultimately be traceable back to marketing efforts, and that's really where the magic happens. And you see a lot of really amazing results. And then lastly, make sure that everybody knows what everybody else is doing. So I know as a sales guy, what my marketing team at BizzyWeb does is extensive and really amazing. So when I get the opportunity to see it, I see a lot more value in that than just saying, oh, we'll put something up on screen. It's not that simple, and hopefully I've never actually said that to them. But at the end of the day, they know, and I've brought some of our marketing team on calls with me, and they say, wow, I didn't know that it went that far. So the more you can align your teams, the better overall customer experience you're going to get, which is the most important thing in 2026. All right, we're sliding around the edge. Trend number 7, usability in your website and for recruitment and retention. So what do I mean by this? It means that at the end of the day, your website is still one of the most crucial parts of your overall experience online and digitally. So in 2025, the statistic that I found is that 25% of job seekers have rejected potential employers due to a bad website experience. So if you're not proud of your website and you don't like your website, it's not only going to hurt your new customer acquisition, but also your ability to recruit good talent. So at the end of the day, keep in mind, your website really should do a couple of things. Number one, it is a reflection of your company quality across the board. So if you haven't looked at it again, it's important that you do so. Number two is make sure that you have an easy career page. That's going to help attract good talent. And it's also still remains a customer service hub and a logo acquisition. And if you don't do that, even if it's highly designed, like I have this picture on page here, people aren't just going to read it the way you want it to. They're going to see it and go, I don't get it. So some best practices that is really important to keep in mind for 2026 that your website should do. If you haven't done it already, this is important things to really consider. Number one, mobile first, lightning fast. Every website that we build is always built mobile first. And statistically speaking, if people load, if a page loads over 3 seconds, it's a pretty massive bounce rate. Also, fast mobile-friendly sites also really rank highly on search engine. So you want to design for effortless information discovery. Things like your products, your pricing, your support, careers, they should be just one click away. Don't make people hunt for it. Follow some basic web conventions and best practices. Your design should be clean, accessible, have good content, good resolution, high resolution imagery. If you can include video, that's great. Include pages about your culture, about your team, and your values, and that's going to help with recruitment. So the clear conversion pathways, what do I mean like that? Ultimately, when somebody's coming to you and you want them to engage with you as a potential new customer, make really convenient and clear things that you're asking them to do. Things like get a quote, click here, sign up for a demo, click here, talk to us, click here. And then also make sure that your forms are user-friendly. And you only want to request specific information that I talk to, because then, as I said earlier, the more you can build on that, the more trust that you're going to build. One of the things that is sort of old that's new again is, and we're seeing that a lot of customers that we're working with benefit from this, is continually improving your website and using that data and that same philosophies that I talked about earlier to figure out how to get better on your website. So as we're talking about this in terms of a recruitment scenario, ask people, how was their site experience? How did they find yes? And again, remember that regular updates are showing a really active and thriving business. So you don't want to just have it sit there by any means. So customer experience is always going to win, and marketing on the whole is going to extend beyond just that customer acquisition. So that customer experience that they have is really important, and the more you can demonstrate your differentiator and the high level of experience through an ease of the experience is really going to be critical for you for success in 2026. So some retention marketing strategies that work. What I've seen is, again, a lot of this is similar to what you would want to do for customers. So exceptional onboarding, make sure that you are providing repeat engagement, providing behavioral personalization so that they know exactly who, whether or not somebody's happy or not. And then proactive support on your website is great as well. And then anything you can to really give a great customer experience, I think is absolutely critical. All right, so this is the slide where everything comes together. So we've talked about a lot of these trends individually, but the real magic is how they work together in 2026 is a great marketing approach. So, and the thread running through all of this is pretty simple, is putting your customer at the center of everything. And if you get that right, the tactics really fall into place. So starting at the top left, AEO and content. This is all about being discoverable in a world where people are not just asking Google anymore. They're asking search engines, they're asking AI tools, and they're asking social platforms. So your job there is to create content that answers real questions and then meets people wherever they're looking. So think omni-channel visibility with actual usefulness behind it. So bottom left, customer experience excellent. The X stands for experience. So finding you is great, but it doesn't mean anything if the experience falls apart once people land on your site or interact with your brand. So it's about usability, it's about consistency, and it's about retention. So it's a removing friction and making people say, wow, that was really easy. I'm willing to give them some information. Then in the upper right-hand corner, loop marketing. This is where this continually feedback loop, you're learning from every interaction, you're adjusting your messaging, you're tightening your strategy, and you're staying aligned across the entire customer journey. It really is going to keep your marketing continually alive instead of just static. And then finally, really getting good at AI and really getting good at your data. So AI can only personalize and predict and perform if it has the right data. And that's how you deliver really good experiences without being over the top. So it's also how you future-proof as privacy standards continue to tighten. And you can see even with the new iPhones now, if it's not a recognized phone number, you can actually program your iPhone to send it directly to voicemail. So privacy standards are going to tighten. Privacy technology is going to continue to tighten. So at the end of this, all the technology, all the tactics, all the strategies, they are going to continue to serve a very specific and single purpose, which is delivering real value and delivering and helping you really build lasting relationships that you can leverage for your business success in 2026. So if you're embracing all of these together, really what you're going to see in 2026 is strengthening your brand, strengthening your customer experience, and then strengthening your growth as well. So this is what we are looking for in 2026 and how we are going to be helping the people we work with. We're continuing on providing really great marketing excellence. We're continuing to put out mobile-first web designs, getting better and better as the CRM evolves. I think I've said a couple of times today how important and critical that is, and it is in 2026 more than anything. And we can also help audit your current state, and I'm going to offer you a little something in just a second to help that. Try and identify some gaps, and then give you some roadmaps to continuous improvement. So we've seen a lot of really great benefits in 2025, and we're hoping to continue to have that in 2026. So how do you do this in 2020? How do you do this and how do you build this? So number one, as means of review, optimize for your answer engines. Go back and look at your content, figure out what do you need to do so AI platforms are going to find you and consider you an authority. Number two, integrate your data for continuous feedback. So make sure your CRM is as clean as possible and making sure that everybody is working off of that same group and working on continually getting better. Third, embracing AI thoughtfully. Again, like I said at the beginning, do not use it and let it run. Use it to make you faster, but then keep that human oversight and brand consistency in well. Owning your data I think, is also going to be absolutely critical by building really first-party data strategies that earn that customer trust. This is not a new concept, but it's becoming even more relevant. And then as you're delivering your content and your brand experiences, do it where your customers and those prospects you really want and are engaging with you. And if you can align for revenue, even better, so that the sales and marketing teams are working together and giving each other consistent and continuous feedback as well. To do that, where do you need to put your money? I think it's in a user-friendly website. If you don't have one, it's something you should probably consider investing in 2026. That's going to not only attract customers, but also keep your existing customers coming back and give you the opportunity to recruit high-level talent. And then to the extent you can, always work on prioritizing retention so that anytime you're providing somebody with a really exceptional experience, that customer is going to turn into an advocate as well. So at the end of the day, this is a lot, and I understand that. So what I want you to think about is just doing a couple of things to start. So start with an audit of your website, audit of your content, look for SEO, look for AEO opportunities, and then review your CRM data quality for better personalization. So then you can start growing into other things, and you can do more going into 2028. So thank you everybody for joining us. I've got about 10 minutes left to answer questions. I'd be more than happy to bring you up on stage and we can talk directly. But as a thank you for everyone who has participated, I've got a QR code on there, but also I've got my email. We'd be happy to offer you a free AIO report, which, like I said, as part of your quick wins, is going to tell you how AI is looking at you and what you can do to improve going into 2026. If that's something that you're interested in, please feel free and email me. I also talked a lot about loop marketing, so I've got that on screen there too. And shoot, I didn't have the S on the end. So it's on our website at BizzyWeb.com, and it's under our service page. It's the first one there for loop marketing services. So thank you all for listening, and I appreciate you spending the time with me. As I said, this is typically the webinar that Dave really loves doing the most. And so it was a nice honor for me, and hopefully you enjoyed it as well, that I was able to step in for him. So I'll hang out for questions, but I thank you for staying with us in 2025. Some of you are customers, some of you we know. We really appreciate you all being in our orbit, and we're looking forward to a really amazing and innovative 2026. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it.